Okay, good morning and welcome to Mishna Yomi. Today we'll be looking at Mesechas Terumos Perek Dalid. Mishnah is Hey involved. Mishnah Hey says, Amar betruma, Lezer Omer Echad Me'asara Ketrumas Meiser. Let's say someone gives an excessive amount of truma. You're supposed to give, even when you're generous, only 1/40th of your produce. Up until, this guy's giving 1/10 of his produce. Until then, Adkan says, that's it. Ketrumas Meiser, because we found, even though Truma Gedola has no Makor having 1/10, but Trumas Meiser, which is also called Truma, they actually come Trumaskam. Trumas are referred to together, Truma Gedola and Trumas Meiser, so that's 1/10. That is Trumas Meiser. Meiser is Me'eser, 1/10. So therefore we find by a different type of Truma 1/10. So even Truma Gedola could be 1/10. Yeser Mikan Yasena Trumas Meiser. If you give more than that, L'makom Acher, then it's invalid to be counted as Truma Gedola to a Kohen. You can only use that as Trumas Meiser for something else. If you try to use it as Truma Gedola for it doesn't count as Truma Gedola, and it's still considered Tevel. Rishmol Omer Mechsa Chulin and Mechsa Truma. Rishmol argues, he says Reishis Degancha. So Reishis is next to the word Degancha, so they're equal. Reishis is the Truma, Degancha is what's left for you. So even you give half of your produce as Truma to the Kohen, it's valid. They can give pretty much 99%. You can give as Truma. This is how we paskin. It says Reishis the Gancha. You just have Shira and Korem. Reishis, your entire produce basically could be your Reishis. You just have to a little bit the Gancha, a little bit left for yourself, but you could potentially give 99% to the Kohen. It would count it as Truma. It's not Tevel anymore. It counts as Truma. The rest is Chulin. This is how we paskin. To explain why we paskin like this, as opposed to other halachas where we're giving staka, or I want to say Mavazes, Alivazes, Yosef ben Achomish, the commercials in Ksuvos and Dafnun. You shouldn't give more charity than 1/20th, than 1/5 of your bank account. I like to say that's talking about giving a tip, but whatever it is, while we're there, is there a limit here by Truma? We help Paskin Zalach has no limit. Stay tuned. We're going to Mishna. We're going to find out. Vav. 3 times a year, you're allowed to determine how much is in your basket to give off Truma. Babikuros with Saifos and Emsa Akayas. Now, this is not talking about Truma Gedola. Truma Gedola, we said, we're talking about Ba'omed. Here we're talking about giving off Meiser, Trumas Meiser. It has to be exactly a tenth, so you want to measure it. You have a basket that has measurements in it. So there's 3 times you measure it, meaning you're supposed to give off Trumas Meisros out of your crop 3 times, Babikuros, when it becomes ripe. Like, let's say you have bananas, they're a little bit green or yellow. That's considered ripe. They're ripe, but they're early ripe, right? Over Saifos. Over Emsa Akaya. Saifos is at the end of when they're really yellow and they're turning brown a little bit. Over Emsa Akaya is when they're just yellow. There's no brown, there's no green, right? All 3 times have different amounts. So therefore you have to give Shumas and Maisos at 3 different times of your harvest, because in the beginning it's like a medium amount. When it's the middle of the summer, then it reaches full maturity. So that's a bigger amount. The banana's a little bigger, and then at the end it shrivels up, so it's less than even the beginning. So therefore, you have to give 3 times. When you want to evaluate it, right? The best thing to do, let's say you have bananas, right? So the first best thing to do is to count the bananas, right? 10 bananas, you give 1. Meshubach, that's a good thing. Amodid meshubach menu. Someone who measures, I guess in liters, they would displace water, let's say, right? Or displace 1/10 of the water. So that's even better. That's a more exact measurement. When it comes to, solids, weighing how many grams, how many kilograms, 1/10 of the kilograms or the grams or the pounds, if you're in America and you use the standard units, imperial system as opposed to the metric system. That's the most exact when it comes to solids. I think by liquids, what we go with the most exact would be the liters or the gallons. That was the conclusion of today's share. I hope you enjoyed. See you in a Mishnah. I'm going to talk more about the question I asked before.